Yeah, I mean, I just don't see how we're going to get this done on time.
Hey guys, how's the presentation going?
So corporate just told us this morning that we have to put on a presentation to a potential investor about our silk and nylon fabric.
They thought we'd be the best at selling fabric, so they want us to make the presentation.
The only issue is that we know nothing about silk and nylon.
Oh yeah, the presentation is going really good.
It's not.
That's amazing, but remember, the presentation's at 5, so don't be late.
Okay, so how much of the presentation do we actually have done?
I mean, I have some information on where our fabric comes from. Do you want to see it?
Okay, we can work with this.
Alright, so what do you guys got for me today?
The history of our silk goes back to around 4,000 years ago. The production of silk started in China with the silkworm known as the bomix mori. The worms would make their cocoons using silk, and in order to obtain the silk, people would heat up the cocoons to kill the chrysalis, and then boil it in order to unravel the stickiness that's holding the cocoon together to get pure threads of silk. The length of a silk thread from one cocoon could be anywhere from 400 to more than 3,000 yards.
The cultivation of silkworms and the use of silk fabric spread rapidly throughout China. At first, silk was mainly for the imperial family. But later on, even though its price remained high, common people were still allowed to wear silk as clothing. Silk became a high-valued commodity and even became a form of currency.
For centuries long after opening of trade routes through Asia like Silk Road, the Chinese kept the details of their own silk production a secret. Trade of the silk spread slowly, but by the 1st century, regular shipments of the silk were arriving in the West. Japan then started its own production of the silk around the year 200 AD.
And in order to maintain their monopoly on silk, China made attempts to smuggle silkworms and silkworm eggs punishable by death. But, as legend has it, in 1552, 2 monks of the Nestorian Church managed to return from China to Constantinople with silkworm eggs. This ended up opening the door to silk production in the West.
Silk production spread throughout the Mediterranean, and in the 14th century, the silk industry was huge in Italy, especially in the north, with cities like Venice, Lucca, Florence became renowned for their silk. Silk exports from Italy and Northern Europe are considered to be the financial basis of the Renaissance movement. France then became a force in the silk industry due to the silk weavers that left Italy because of its political instability.
In 1446, King Louis allowed silk weavers in the city of Lyons to not have to pay taxes. He ordered the planting of mulberry trees and also ordered the manufacture of silk for the royal court. For the next 5 centuries, European silk production will be centered in France.
England then became a major center for finely woven silk after French weavers, who were escaping religious persecution, arrived in the 16th century. Various attempts to cultivate silk in North America weren't commercially successful, but the spinning and weaving of silk, which were processes that could be mechanized, were developed.
By the 20th century, the United States had become a large manufacturer of silk goods.
So as you can see, silk has had a huge impact on the world. Are you asleep right now?
Of course not. Great presentation, guys. Don't forget to talk about nylon.
Should we just quit?
Yeah.
We probably should.
Sorry, I'm late. Y'all had an important phone call.
The history of our silk goes back to... I just want to get this over with, to be honest.
So, as you see, silk has had a huge impact on the world, but because of all the great properties that silk has, it has become difficult to replace. Because it was so expensive and everyone wanted to use it, multiple attempts were made to make a man-made substitute for silk.
Hilaire de Chardonnay came up with his own version of silk called Chardonnay silk, with the only downside being that it was flammable, which would lead to its downfall. In 1895, he created another version involving a denitrating agent that made the silk safer and was on the flammability level of natural silk.
Another method developed in England in 1901 by Charles Cross and Edward Bevan used viscose liquid by forcing it through a spinneret into an acid bath, which regenerated cellulose in the form of a fine filament called viscose silk. One of its downsides, however, was that it absorbed water very easily, causing it to sag. A different type of artificial silk was needed, one that had viscose silk's good characteristics without its weaknesses.
This is when non-cellulose-based nylon arrived on the scene in 1938, created by organic chemist Wallace Carothers, who worked for the DuPont Fiber Silk Company. Wallace Carothers, a 31-year-old chemist at Harvard, was offered the opportunity to perform independent research for DuPont. In 1928, he decided that he wanted to work on polymers.
Within a year of studying work, Wallace Carothers had a polyester molecule with the weight of over 5,000, which he was later able to increase to 12,000.
Because of how much it looked like silk, Wallace's first polymer initially looked as if it had commercial potential. Unfortunately, it had many flaws, such as melting in hot water and simply disintegrating after a few weeks. For 4 years, Wallace and his co-workers prepared and studied different types of polymers until they produced nylon, the man-made fiber that came closest to having the properties of silk.
The first commercial use of nylon in 1938 was for toothbrush bristles, and then in 1939, nylon stockings were marketed for the first time. Nylon proved to be an all-around success. It didn't sag or wrinkle like cotton or viscose silk. It was far less expensive than silk. In the year after nylon was introduced, about 64 million pairs of nylons were manufactured and sold. With its exceptional strength, durability, and lightness, nylon quickly found a use in many other products such as fishing lines, string for tennis, and coatings for electrical wires.
As you can see, silk and nylon have both had a huge impact on the world, and both have set their legacy.
Wait, so I'm confused. Why did we just tell him all that?
Was that really necessary?
I don't know, it just felt right. God, I'm so mad.
Why?
Cause this guy scammed me. I thought that I was buying silk, and turns out I got nylon instead.
That sucks. Why do you want silk so bad?
Because silk is just amazing, right? It's hypoallergenic, it's good for your hair, it has anti-aging properties, and silk feels amazing. Why wouldn't you want silk?
True.
Is that nylon?
Yeah, this is nylon.
Can I trade you the silk for that nylon?
Wait, I'm confused. You have silk and instead you want my nylon?
Yeah, nylon is so much better than silk. There's so many different properties, and it's like you can use it as leggings, a raincoat, swimsuit, an umbrella. It just has protection on it from the rain.
Isn't nylon more durable than silk?
100%.
Well, actually
here.
no, I'm gonna keep this nylon.
Oh,
You get away from me here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
get away from us. We're keeping on.
So that's why you should invest in our silk and nylon company.
Well, that was great. There's just one thing. I still don't know how silk and nylon works.
What?
I mean, yeah, it was great, but I was like expecting like some chemical formulas and all that. What? Don't tell me you guys don't know how silk and nylon works. I don't even think I want to invest in this company.
Cliffhanger? That's lame.
I was really looking forward to see how silk and nylon works.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that.
Wait, you guys don't know how silk and nylon works?
No?
No, you do?
I mean, yeah, we're basically experts.
Teach us then.
Sure, why not? You see, silk is a protein, and proteins are made up of 22 different alpha amino acids. The chemical structure for an alpha amino acid has an amino group H2N, and an organic group CO2H arranged as shown. In this structure, R represents a different combination of atoms for each amino acid. There are 22 different structures for R, which is what makes the 22 different alpha amino acids. The R group, which is also known as the side group, is responsible for the special properties of silk.
Other simple side groups include H, CH3O, and CH3, which give the amino acids glycine, serine, and alanine respectively. These three amino acids are the three most common amino acids found in silk. These side groups, being small, play an important factor in the smoothness of silk.
It is estimated that 80 to 85% of amino acids is a repeating sequence of glycine, serine, glycine, alanine, glycine, alanine. A chain of the silk protein polymer has a zigzag arrangement, with the side groups alternating on each side. These chains of the parallel molecule lie adjacent, with adjacent chains running in opposite directions which are held together.
This produces a pleated sheet structure, where alternate R groups along the protein chain point either up or down. The flexible structure of the pleated sheet is resistant to stretching, and accounts for many of the physical properties found in silk. The small R groups on the surface are relatively similar in size, creating a uniform surface which is responsible for the smooth feel of silk. Now, when it comes to nylon, nylon is a polyimide, meaning that its polymer units are held together through amide linkages. But while silk has both an acid end and an amino end on each of its individual amino acid units, nylon was made from two different monomer units, one with two acid groups and another with two amino groups. These two monomer units alternate in the chain.
The amide link in nylon, like the amide link in silk, is formed by eliminating a water molecule between the ends of two molecules from the H atom, from the NH2 to the OH to the CO2H. The resulting amide bond, shown as CONH, joins the two different molecules. This is how nylon and silk are chemically similar.
Bro, that was really interesting and informational.
Yeah, if I would give you guys a grade, I would definitely give you an A.
You know what? I agree.
What should we watch now?
Oh, we should watch The Office.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.